So I'm Alicja Tymoszuk. I'm from Bydgoszcz University of Science and Technology in Poland. I work as the assistant professor at the Faculty of Agriculture and Biotechnology in the Laboratory of Ornamental Plants and Vegetable Crops. So I'm in fact a plant biotechnologist who's trying to use nanoparticles for some purposes of plant production. So the aim of my presentation is to show you my research concerning nanomaterials application in improving micropropagation and breeding techniques of horticultural plants. So it will be about nanoparticles and about plants, about the interactions and influence between these two areas. The co-authors of my presentations are Dr. Dariusz Kulus, Dr. Natalia Miller, and Dr. Jacek Wojnarowicz. I didn't do it all by myself, so I want to also thank them for the help. And also I would like to thank very much the organizers for giving me the opportunity to participate, of course, in this second edition of International Conference on Material Science and Engineering. Okay, so as we all good know, the global production of nanomaterials has been increasing tremendously. Nanomaterials are produced and released to the environment, and although plants are constantly exposed to naturally occurring nanoparticles, exposure to engineered nanomaterials is a new phenomenon which requires sufficient study and monitoring. We know that many nanomaterials can differentially affect plant growth and development, but results of many studies vary depending on the tested plant species, depending on the type, concentration, size, or shape, or purity of nanoparticles. As a plant biotechnologist, I'm particularly interested in studying the influence of different nanoparticles on plant growth and development. My studies aimed to analyze the usefulness, most often of gold, silver, and zinc oxide nanoparticles in the improvement of micropropagation and breeding techniques of selected worldwide economically important ornamental plants and vegetable crops. As you can see, I'm conducting my research using plant cultures, in vitro plant cultures. It means that I'm propagating plants in laboratory, in sterile conditions, on special media. These in vitro cultures are maintained in completely controlled conditions, where there are where the influence of nanoparticles can be tested without the interactions with the other environmental factors. And in these in vitro cultures, I'm studying the results of nanoparticles on the efficiency of micropropagation, of plant regeneration, induction of mutations. I'm using nanoparticles as chemic mutagens, and I'm also using nanoparticles to see how they influence the seeds germination and seedling development. Now, first, I would like to start with the presentation about the experiment on the effects of silver and gold nanoparticles on the in vitro regeneration of adventitious roots in chrysanthemum and gerbera. Here you can see the characteristics of tested nanoparticles. Silver and gold nanoparticles were purchased from Nanoparticles Innovation NPIN in Poland. They were produced by seeded mediated growth method. Particles were spherical in shape, and their average size reach 20 plus minus 2 or 3 nanometers. In these experiments, we used Chrysanthemum bydgoszczanka shoot tips and Gerbera suri rosettes. These explants were inoculated on the rooting medium in jars, as you can see, and immediately after the explants inoculation, we applicated the nanocolloids using sterile tips and pipette. We applicated 2 milliliters of prepared nanocolloids per each culture jar, and we applicated these nanoparticles at 2 concentrations of 10 and 30 ppms. We had also control cultures which were not treated with any nanoparticles. And after 3 weeks, the rooting efficiency was evaluated. As you can see, chrysanthemum shoot fragments cultured on the media supplemented with silver nanoparticles regenerated less adventitious roots than the control explants, non-treated with nanoparticles. The regenerated roots were also of the smallest area and diameter, but the length of the longest root was the highest in the experiment. But chrysanthemum roots on the media with gold nanoparticles had the highest value of root diameter. And here you can see pictures of the regenerated root systems depending on the experimental object and nanoparticles applications. And these pictures show us that roots regenerated on media supplemented with silver nanoparticles were developed to a much lesser extent than another root systems from control object or object treated with gold nanoparticles. Similarly, Gerbera rosettes cultured on the media supplemented with nanosilver regenerated less adventitious roots than the control expands, but in contrast, the highest efficiency of adventitious roots formation was found as a result of gold nanoparticles application at the concentration of 10 ppms. And here you can see also the regenerated root systems of Gerbera. And we can see that roots formed on media with silver nanoparticles were not good developed comparing to other roots systems. Let me now present you the effects of silver and gold nanoparticles on the in vitro regeneration of adventitious shoots in Cape primrose, which is a very popular pot plant in my country. We used leaf explants. We inoculated them onto the shoot induction medium, and also we applicated the nanoparticles solutions, the same methodology, the same concentrations, the same kinds of nanoparticles as described by me in the previous experiments. These cultures were maintained for 12 successive weeks. In this time, the adventitious roots were regenerated. You can see the progress in shoot regeneration depending on the culture week. And after 12 weeks, the regeneration efficiency was evaluated by us. And as you can see, the most efficient stimulation of shoot regeneration was reported when silver nanoparticles and gold nanoparticles were added to the culture medium at the concentration of 10 ppms. So what are conclusions of this part of our experiments? We know that gold nanoparticles are less toxic than silver nanoparticles to in vitro isolated plant explants. Silver nanoparticles application at the concentration of 10 and 30 ppms inhibited adventitious roots regeneration in chrysanthemum and gerbera. Therefore, silver nanoparticles should be not used during in vitro rhizogenesis of this species. Nevertheless, gold nanoparticles stimulated rhizogenesis in gerbera at 10 ppms and formation of roots with the highest diameter in chrysanthemum at 10 and 30 ppms. Results of this study also prove that silver and gold nanoparticles at the concentration of 10 ppms improve the efficiency of Streptocarpus micropropagation. So this was the first experiment with the application of nanoparticles in plant in vitro cultures conducted by my research team, and results were published, if you are more interested in these experiments, in Scientia Horticulture. But now I would like to present you the other experiment concerning this time the influence of silver nanoparticles on the genetic, biochemical and phenotype variation in chrysanthemum. Silver nanoparticles, spherical in shape, size, average size 20 nanometers, and at the concentrations of 5, 10, and 20 ppms were added to the shoot regeneration medium. And on this medium, we inoculated internodes. Internodes are fragments of plant shoots, and we used in this experiment chrysanthemum cultivar lilac wonder. Here you can see the progress of shoot regeneration depending on the nanoparticles application and week of the culture. And what we proved that the share of internodes proliferating cali tissue and shoots was the highest in the control object and the lowest on the media with 20 ppms of silver nanoparticles. Nanosilver at the highest concentration tested also suppressed the regeneration of adventitious shoots. We also did some biochemical spectral analysis. We extracted chlorophylls, carotenoids, and phenolic compounds in shoots and in cali tissue regenerated on our control and silver nanoparticles treated plants. And the concentration of metabolites in callus tissue was stable regardless of the silver nanoparticles treatment, except for carotenoids, which production was enhanced by the application of 20 ppms of nanosilver. Adventitious shoots regenerated on the control medium, and medium with 5 ppms produced more chlorophylls than shoots regenerated on the medium with 10 or 20 ppms of nanosilver. But the application of nanosilver did not influence the content of the total phenolic compounds, neither in callus nor in adventitious shoots. These are results of biochemical analysis. But we do also the genetic analysis of plants to find out, to see if treatment with nanoparticles can form some kind of mutations, some kind of changes at the genetic level. Plants obtained from 20 ppm's nanosilver treatment were analyzed on the genetic level using two different types of genetic marker systems. The first one was RAPD and the second one was ISSR. So we used these two marker systems. We used 5 primers, specific primers, for each marker system used. The genomic DNA was isolated from leaves, from regenerated shoots. And for every